Hello, dear friends. The increase in the patches of gold is yet another sign of the system change we are experiencing, while the swan song of the old system is being heard. According to Groucho Marx, politics is the art of looking for trouble, finding it everywhere, diagnosing it incorrectly, and applying the wrong remedies. Opinion piece. Swan song. Gold buying accelerates, highest reserves in 31 years, especially in emerging countries. To comply with the Basel III rule, the euro celebrates its 20th anniversary, dollar forced to its lowest level in 25 years. Oil's biggest rise in a decade, oil's biggest annual gain in 12 years. Turkish lira ends 2021 with a 44% decline. Economic collapse likely in next 6 months. Gold price could reach $3,000 by 2022. Emerging markets lashed by rate cuts. We came on a rescue mission after the World War II. A very positive change is taking place even if it is not visible. Let's start. A swan song is a metaphorical phrase that refers to someone's last gesture, this deed of performance just before retirement. The phrase refers to the ancient belief that swans sing a beautiful song at the moment just before they perish, after having been silent for most of their lives. This belief, whose basis in actuality has long been debated, was already proverbial in ancient Greece around the 3rd century before Christ, and was reiterated many times thereafter in Western poetry and art. And this is also the swan song of the old world financial system. Gold holdings in the foreign exchange reserves of central banks have been growing worldwide, reaching a 31-year high. This year, banks have to prove that they have sufficient gold supply to back their fiat currency, because they are bound by the new Basel III regulations. Investors value gold as a stable store of value, and often use it as a hedge against swings in equities or consumer prices. According to the World Gold Council, banks have accumulated more than 4,500 tons over the past decade. In September, reserves totaled about 36,000 tons, the largest hold since 1990, and 50% more than a decade earlier. The price of gold has remained firm, trading at the level of $1,806 per troy ounce as of December 30th. At the same time, dollar holdings have been falling. The dollar's presence in foreign exchange reserves has declined sharply over the past decade. In 2020, the dollar's currency-to-currency ratio fell to the lowest level in a quarter century. Analysts say central banks, particularly in emerging economies, are continuing their shift to gold, reflecting global concerns about the dollar-based currency regime. In the first 9 months of 2021, Thailand bought about 90 tons, India 70, and Brazil 60. Central banks and public institutions began boosting gold holdings after the 2008 global financial crisis, which triggered an outflow of funds from US government bonds, leading to falls in the value of dollar-denominated assets. Gold price. Gold posts strong gain on last day of 2021, but suffers steepest annual drop since 2015. Gold futures are strongly higher on Friday in the last session of 2021, but the precious metal still posted the steepest annual drop since 2015, cornered by a resurgent dollar. The most traded gold futures fell about 3.5% to around 1,828.6 a troy once in 2021, dragged lower by investors' expectations about the Fed's response to rising prices. After a poor performance in 2021, the gold price is historically undervalued and should do much better in 2022. Gold could remain weak in the first quarter, but for the second quarter onward there is a potential for a strong breakout advance, and it is possible that the price could reach $3,000 by the end of next year. Oil posts biggest annual gain in 12 years. Oil posted its biggest annual gain since 2009 as economies were started to reopen, boosting consumption while oil production remains limited post-crisis. Oil prices end 2021 with biggest rise in more than a decade. Oil prices soared in 2021 as they grew more than 50%, the biggest rise since 2009, when they showed growth for more than 70%. Ether eclipses Bitcoin in a year. Ether was one of the biggest winners of the year, more than quadrupling Bitcoin as an investment. Despite a flurry of investor hype and new exchange-traded funds, the leading cryptocurrency saw to a new record high of nearly $69,000, only to pull back dramatically this month and currently languishes below $50,000. Turkish lira posts its worst year in 2 decades. The Turkish lira ends 2021 down 44%, the worst year since 2001, since President Tayyip Erdogan came to power nearly 2 decades ago, despite his call on Friday for Turks to trust his unorthodox policies, consisting of cutting interest rates in the face of skyrocketing inflation. The euro's birthday. The euro is 20 years old. The euro, the common currency of the European Union, celebrates its 20th anniversary on January 1st, during which time it has become the second most widely used currency in the world after the dollar. At present, the euro is the second most widely used type of capital on the planet, accounting for 20% of the world's currency reserves, while the dollar is the first with 60%. Maturity of a currency that was born as a symbol of economic stability. The common currency of most European countries has been in circulation for 2 decades, and despite the rise in prices, experts agree that it has favored growth, especially in Germany and the Netherlands, but not so much in Southern Europe. Belgium, Germany, Ireland, France, Italy, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands, Austria, Portugal, Finland, Greece, and Spain were the first to replace their national currencies with a common one. Today, 27 countries make up the European Union and 19 countries use the euro. Spain. January 1st, 2022 will be the 20th anniversary of the introduction of the euro as Spain's official currency. At that time, you could still buy churros with pesetas, but that new currency was already worth the money that used to come with the money changer, where the necessary amount was translated. Suddenly, most from 1,000 you went to 6, and even worse, from 100 you went to 1, which in comparison was more than the previous price. Both figures appeared on the receipts, to the usual astonishment of the customer. The euro was exactly 166 pesetas and 386 cents. From then on, the adjustment came, and where the price increase was not most noticeable was in everyday pieces such as bread, restaurant menus, movies, or transportation. For example, coffee in a bar could cost us about 100 pesetas, which would be 60 euro cents. Today is around 1.30, more than double. A loaf of bread used to cost 50 pesetas, 30 euro cents. Today the average is 70 cents. With the euro, prices in Spain rose by up to 66% for certain products. Even so, there was a certain joy in leaving those fat little bitches that had shown the face of Franco and various monarchs. It was an illusion to be one of the 19 countries that threw that silver medal with a golden rim. For some, it was a blow to the pocketbook. For others, it was a way to stabilize the region's economy and compete with other powerful currencies, such as the dollar or the Chinese yuan. Economic collapse. According to the Nomad Economist, there is a 70% chance of global economic collapse in the next 6 months. A new study says there is a 70% chance of a recession occurring in the next 6 months. The global economy is already in the worst shape we have seen since 2008, and it appears that the global slowdown is actually accelerating as we enter the new year. Banks create more money from loans. Markets are high, but debts are even higher. The economy booms on borrowed money until it is time to pay back the loan. Bankers have burdened our economy with their debt products. The banks were using stock profits to maintain liquidity, but the stocks are only part of that puzzle. The economy was toast in 2008, and for the last 11 years we have lived on a form of life support. Trillions in debt to squeeze out small 1.8% GDP growth. The manufacturing weekly hours index has plummeted since mid-2019 and is now at about 40.40 points. Reset news. Massive sewage spill closes California beaches. A massive sewage spill in California forced the city of Long Beach on Friday to close all swimming areas at nearby beaches, officials said. Second, snow helps quell Colorado wildfires. Snow now blankets the scene of the tragedy. Heavy snowfall helped quell the last flames of the severe wildfires that have destroyed hundreds of homes in Colorado on Friday. Like many other areas of the western U.S., Colorado has suffered major droughts in recent years, which have facilitated the destructive outbreak of fire. Third one, UK. Nationwide suffers payment error again, as customers complain that they have not received their pay on New Year's Eve, days after the building society's latest disruption. Britons with nationwide bank accounts reported problems with delayed payments. Fourth, Twitter outraged by the Queen's knighthood of former Prime Minister Tony Blair. News that former British Prime Minister Tony Blair has been knighted by Buckingham Palace with the highest possible ranking in the New Year's honours list has provoked a flurry of outrage on Twitter. Fifth, Dinesh D. Souza states on Twitter, in quotes, "Millions of Muslims are converting to Christianity. This has never happened before, and the amazing explanation given by many of the converts is that they are seeing dreams and visions of Jesus." Close quotes. Technological backwardness. We have been living in the Middle Ages, but this is coming to an end according to Gene the Code. The clique has been living at the top and the mighty of technology a million years ahead of us. They went to Mars in 1903 and 1947 with Tesla's anti-gravitators. They use it in TR3B. We are using fossil fuels, solar power, windmills, all this archaic stuff. We didn't have to rape our planet. We don't have to have wires, strip mining, all this cable laying. In the 1890s, Tesla said it was the first to install power lines all over the Earth. They travel 100 light years away in half an hour, and we fly in an aluminium can with wings full of explosive fuel. Things that were archaic 100 years ago. We drive using internal combustion that we had in the 19th century. I want to see all of this overcome and bring healing and abundance to people. A rescue mission. Dolores Cannon explained it this way. After the incessant horrible things that have been done to our planet, and after the atomic bombs of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Earth sent an SOS to the cosmos because it could not maintain its orbit. Light workers, stars, seeds, and enlightened souls answered Earth's call. We came in waves to hold and shine the light of our God to help raise the frequencies so that Earth, her realms, and humankind could ascend back to the celestial realms. The first wave of enlightened souls were born in the 50s and 60s, and Dolores said they had the heaviest work because the energies on Earth at that time were the densest. The light workers came in waves in different decades. God wins every time. Being Vulnerable by Jennifer Farley. Human language has changed the meaning of the word vulnerability. In their understanding, to be vulnerable is to be weak, to be open to attack, and to be hurt. But the universe has a very different perspective. To be vulnerable is to open the heart, soul, and mind in a way that allows for maximum growth and learning. There is great strength in vulnerability, far greater than you have ever known. In those moments, the universe never leaves you alone or unprotected. Know instead that you are being watched and guided with love through it all. New Year's Promises. Welcome to 2022 by Michael Murdoch. So we end 2021 on the note that 2022 promises to be a year of discovery, a year of abundance, a year of realizing that we have let the elites continue for too long. And it is time to change that tune any way we can. We the people need to change the way the game is played everywhere. We need to take control of our home, drive our cars, and live our lives, while returning to the planet back to a course to reach 4D, 5D, and higher levels of consciousness. And we need understanding so that we can heal the planet and attract those from beyond to come, share and evolve the Earth to where it should have been long ago. Cleansing. Birth of the New Year 2022 by Patricia Diana Cota Robles. We have got victoriously completing the most complex purging process ever attempted by humankind and the company of heaven. This push involved dismantling the matrix of a myriad of social structures that have controlled the masses for eons of time. These structures were kept in place by the fear-based consciousness of separation and duality that have manifested in patterns of human behavior, such as greed, corruption, abuse of power, hatred, ignorance, and the willingness to respond with violence. All of these behaviors are totally devoid of love. The beings of light have assured us that there are no longer any fundamental structures vibrating at the discordant frequency necessary to sustain the obsolete paradigms that we have successfully dismantled. This means that although there are people who are still desperately trying to maintain their power and their ability to control the masses, there is no matrix to sustain their efforts, so they consistently fail. Since the birth of the new decade from 2020 to 2030, lightworkers around the world, in an unprecedented collaboration with the Company of Heaven, have successfully dismantled the slugs of limitation and shadows that have evolved the human soul for eons of time. Now, as a result of this achievement, it has been confirmed that our precious planet Earth will be able to ascend into the light unhindered, and there is no turning back. New contingency planned for 2022. In 2022, through the unified effort of heaven and earth, awakened humanity will begin to co-create a generational changing of the God. The influence of the old God and the powers that be who are responsible for the degradation of Mother Earth, humanity and the elemental realm will be replaced by a new generation who have been uniquely prepared to become stewards of Earth, while healing and transfiguring into the perfection of the new Earth. The vast majority of the sons and daughters of God who have been born since the harmonic convergence in 1987 are known in the celestial realms as the Holy Innocents. These are souls who had not yet begun their evolutionary journey on Earth when we fell into the downward spiral of involution on the wheel of karma. Once that happened, our Father Mother God issued the cosmic edict to protect these new souls from becoming trapped on the wheel of karma that humankind mistakenly created when we fell into the abyss of separation and duality. While waiting in the inner realms, these precious sons and daughters of God were trained in unique ways that would enable them to help Earth and all of your life transcend pain and suffering once they were incarnated on the physical plane. This training was downloaded by your divine I Am presence into unique consciousness codes. The divine intent of the consciousness codes was to provide these enlightened souls, once incarnated, with easy access to the sacred knowledge they accumulated while waiting in the temples of the inner planes. Socorrists. There are literally billions of souls who have been born on Earth since 1987. They have incarnated in every country and in every condition and situation existing in the world. The vast majority of these precious sons and daughters of God are now ready to take their place as transformational leaders. This is true whether or not they are conscious of this or on an unconscious level. In 2022, these young people will begin to stand out around the world and bring with them innovative ideas and heart-based solutions as they replace the old God and outdated paradigms that have now been dismantled. They will gradually assume leadership of all the various existing social structures on Earth, and develop new heart-based social structures that will improve the quality of life of all humankind, the elemental kingdom and Mother Earth. The Company of Heaven said that this generational shift will affect every part of life that belongs or that belong to, observes, or serves Mother Earth in the most positive and transformative way. So pay attention and listen to the inner intuitive guidance of your divine I Am persons. The light has won. Kehra's New Year's message. The light has won. Only informed human beings who have done their research know the background of this story. Some know most of it, but for the general public this is still a secret. When the truth comes out about what happened, it will be labeled as the greatest war in the history of mankind, and everything will be published openly. Soon it will be revealed who it is that has kept us in the dark. For hundreds of centuries they have used every possible means to oppress and enslave humankind. A new quote from Rothschild says, in quotes, "If we fall, we will drag you all down with us." This confirms that he knows very well what is going on. The rival is a secret society from the planet Saturn. They have become the extension of the Roman Empire, but this is coming to an end because the light has defeated these powers. New reality. We are truly on the threshold of a new reality, of a new world of unity, filled with the highest light and guided by love. A bright and prosperous future is guaranteed. Hold the light now, for it is indispensable in these times of great change. This is the last phase of upliftment. As the illusion continues to dissolve, there may still be some bumps here and there. Therefore, we say to you, bring God out from within and shine your light. You may not yet be able to perceive these beings of light, but they are certainly closer than they have ever been. The moving stars you see in the sky are, in fact, the lightships of your family members. They are watching over you with the purest love. Many are already walking among us to make sure we are safe. In the not too distant future, they will land on our beloved planet, just as they did in the past. Only this time they won't leave you. Yes, we will even run the risk of giving a timetable for it. The grand reunion could take place within the next 4 years or sooner. Your hope, your will, and your firm belief in change for the better has shocked many civilizations throughout the universe. They thought we were a lost civilization, and now they are cheering us on, and their joy has increased tenfold. In many of these civilizations are also our ancestors, our beloved cosmic family. The Garden of Eden. The planet known as Earth will be the second Garden of Eden, a place where beings of light from all regions of the universe will meet, interact, exchange, and grow together. The awakening of humankind on Earth has sent its echo across the Milky Way to other planets. For those of you who have chosen to remain here, to be part of the new Earth, you are meant to experience the life that was originally intended for this planet. But there are also many of you who cannot yet grasp the idea of complete peace and freedom. Therefore, you are not yet ready to embrace the new, and you have already begun to leave this world. Again, there is no judgment. Those who live will continue their journey on other third-dimensional planets. Higher consciousness, a new perspective, a new foundation has been laid for a new peaceful and prosperous way of life for all humankind on Earth. The old dissolves as the higher light enters the world. There are many who fear this change. There are many who want to cling to the old matrix, but it is impossible. Planet Earth is designed, created and powered by pure divine energy. There will be no Armageddon, and the world is not going to end. What you see now is that the light has won. It wins whatever is ignited, because it is inevitable. The false matrix is dissolving, giving way to the emergence of a new divine world. The future of humankind is no longer at stake. It is secure, a future with abundance and progress in all areas, with love and unity for all. Contrary to what you may see in the media, all hell is not breaking loose. An absolutely positive change is taking place. Humankind and Mother Earth have already ascended into the fifth dimension. The light is burning everywhere now. Enjoy the divine tipping point. We will not have to wait much longer. We are truly on the threshold of a new reality, a new world of unity filled with the highest light and guided by love. This is a time of joy and celebration. Thanks a lot, dear friend.